Before Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer, Taraji P. Henson, or Regina King ever took the spotlight, there was Cicely Tyson, a true pioneer who shattered barriers and opened doors for generations of African-American actresses. With a career that spanned over 7 decades, Tyson became an icon, winning 3 Emmy Awards, a Tony Award, and the hearts of millions through unforgettable performances like the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman and Sounder. But behind the accolades and the powerful roles, there's a side of Cicely Tyson's story that few truly know. What happened inside the home she left behind? What was the truth about her net worth at the time of her tragic death? And how did her passing, just 2 days after publishing her memoir Just As I Am, leave a mark on the world? Stay with us as we uncover the hidden details of Cicely Tyson's final chapter, inside her abandoned house, her fortune, and the heartbreaking end of a legend's journey. Cicely Tyson never planned on being an actor. Cicely Tyson was born on December 19, 1924, in the Bronx, New York City, but not long after, her family moved to East Harlem, where she spent most of her childhood. She was one of 3 children born to Frederica Huggins Tyson, who worked as a domestic worker, and William Augustine Tyson, a carpenter and painter. Both of her parents had immigrated to the United States from Nevis in the West Indies. Her father arrived in New York at age 21 and was processed through Ellis Island on August 4, 1919. Tyson was raised in a deeply religious environment. She sang in the choir and regularly attended prayer meetings at an Episcopal church in East Harlem. Despite her mother's strong opposition to the idea of her daughter becoming an actress, so much so that she refused to speak to Cicely for a time, her heart softened when she finally saw Cicely perform on stage. When asked how she found her way into acting, Cicely Tyson reflected in an interview with NPR. "Well, it happened because I learned that I could speak through other people. I was a very shy child." She described herself as someone who hardly spoke, but who was a great observer. In another conversation with Elle magazine, Tyson admitted that acting had never been part of her plan. "I never thought of being an actress," she said. Raised in a deeply religious family, her childhood was filled with church, from Sunday morning to Saturday night. It was through those church experiences that she first encountered film, theater, and music. The church was really where, subconsciously, I was sopping up all of this, whatever I use now, to perform, she explained. Tyson's path to the spotlight began unexpectedly. While working as a typist in New York City, she liked to spend her lunch breaks browsing at Lord & Taylor off Fifth Avenue. One afternoon, as she recalled to NPR, a stranger tapped her on the shoulder and asked for her agency. I asked, "What agency?" They said, "Aren't you a model?" I said, "No." And they said, "Well, you should be." That chance encounter came from a photographer for Ebony magazine, and it set Tyson on a new course. Encouraged by the comment, she started submitting her photos to modeling agencies, and soon the calls began to come in. Cicely Tyson's mother did not support her career. Cicely Tyson's parents were working-class immigrants from Nevis in the West Indies. According to News America's Now, her parents divorced when she was very young, and from that point on, her mother became her primary guardian. While still living at home, Cicely's modeling career began to soar. She appeared in top magazines and walked prestigious runways. But when the opportunity came for her to transition into acting, things took a difficult turn. In an interview with Time magazine, Cicely recalled that when she was approached to work on a film, her mother firmly told her, "You can't do that." The disagreement ran so deep that her mother ended up kicking her out of the house, and the two didn't speak for more than a year. Not long after, Cicely landed her first feature film role in Carib Gold, a 1957 B-film set in the Florida Keys with a predominantly black cast. In an Elle interview years later, when asked if her mother was ever proud of her, Cicely shared a touching memory. "When I did Jane Pittman, I was in California and she was still in New York, and I called her and said, Well, you got to give me something. She said, I am so proud of you. Cicely would later credit her mother as a powerful source of energy, a force that pushed her to prove her wrong. Cicely Tyson was the first black woman to wear her hair natural on television. In an interview with InStyle, Cicely Tyson shared that she's often credited with helping to spark the natural hair movement. It all began in 1962, when she auditioned for a role in a CBS drama called Between Yesterday and Today. Cicely recalled, "They told me to leave my hair straightened, but I knew this woman, the character I was playing, would wear her hair natural. So, determined to stay true to the role, she went to a barbershop in Harlem, had them cut her hair short, and got it shampooed. On set, she kept her hair covered until it was time to film. When the director finally saw her natural, cropped hair, he admitted, 'I wanted to ask you to do it, but I didn't have the nerve.' In 1963, Cicely took on a starring role in East Side, West Side, another CBS series, and decided to keep her hair natural for that as well. The studio received a flood of letters, some applauding the choice, others criticizing it. Other people told me I was in a position to glorify black women, and I had disgraced them instead," she said. "I wasn't trying to be groundbreaking that day, but that one small choice still has effects today." Her bold hair choices didn't stop there. According to HuffPost, she caused another stir when she wore cornrows in the 1972 film Sounder. For Cicely, every hairstyle she chose had meaning beyond fashion. "Every time I changed a hairdo, it had nothing to do with me. It had to do with authenticating the character I was playing," she explained. Cicely Tyson turned down an Academy Award-nominated role. In 1972, Cicely Tyson starred in the film Sounder, a powerful story about a family of sharecroppers and their loyal dog, Sounder. The role earned Tyson an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress, making her only the second black woman in history to receive that honor. That same year, she shared the spotlight with Diana Ross, who was also nominated for her role in Lady Sings the Blues. Following the success of Sounder, Cicely was offered the lead role in the film Claudine. But in an interview with Time magazine, Cicely reflected on a difficult choice she made at the time. "I once turned down a movie that everybody thought I was crazy to do because it wasn't the kind of woman I wanted to project," she recalled. That film was Claudine, and the role eventually went to Diahann Carroll, who earned an Oscar nomination for her performance. "It has never been easy for us to get roles of enough substance, of any substance," Tyson said, reflecting on the limited and often stereotypical parts offered to black women. Despite the scarcity of opportunities, Cicely was determined to be selective. She cared deeply about how black women were represented on screen and never regretted standing by her principles. And fate soon rewarded her conviction. Just a week after turning down Claudine, she was offered the chance to play the title role in the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman. That performance won her 2 Emmy Awards and cemented her place as one of the most respected actresses of her time. Cicely Tyson went the extra mile when researching for roles. The autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman was a made-for-TV movie that told the powerful story of a woman who, at 110 years old in the 1960s, reflected on her life as a former slave. When Cicely Tyson spoke to Elle about preparing for the role, she shared, "I did a tremendous amount of research. I need to feel as though I am in the person's skin." To truly embody an elderly woman, she visited a nursing home, observing the way the residents spoke, moved, and carried themselves. The film went on to earn 13 Emmy nominations and brought Tyson 2 wins of her own. As she once said, the movie marked the end of my anonymity. In 2013, Cicely returned to the stage, starring in the Broadway revival of The Trip to Bountiful. To prepare, she traveled to Texas, where the play is set, her first visit to the state. In an interview with Time, she explained, I was just going to get a ticket and fly out there and roam around and eat and smell and dance and sing and whatever she did. Her journey became more than just a personal quest. CBS decided to document the experience, creating a behind-the-scenes feature about her trip. Cicely visited Wharton, the small town where playwright Horton Foote grew up and which inspired Bountiful. Her dedication paid off. Her performance earned her a Tony Award. Cicely Tyson had a daughter at age 18. For most of her life, Cicely Tyson kept her personal world out of the public eye. Even in her memoir, Just As I Am, she chose to protect that privacy, dedicating the book to her daughter, whom she referred to as Joan, a pseudonym to shield her real name. In that heartfelt dedication, Tyson described her daughter as the one who has paid the greatest price for this gift to all, and closed simply with, "Love, Mom." In 1942, Tyson married her first husband, Kenneth Franklin, and the following year, she gave birth to their daughter. But the marriage was short-lived. The couple divorced when their daughter was just 2 years old. Cicely returned to live with her mother, who helped raise the child, while Tyson worked tirelessly at multiple jobs to support the family. As her career grew, Cicely made the difficult decision to send her daughter to a boarding school far from home. In her memoir, she reflected on how painful that distance had been for both of them. "Joan felt, as a child, that she had to share me with the world," Tyson wrote. "I give her now, in adulthood, what my heart has always longed to bestow, my undivided focus, along with the full measure of her privacy." Cicely Tyson lied about her age. According to a People magazine article from 1974, more than all the other actresses who have tried, Tyson keeps her age, which could be close to 40, a secret. When pressed, she quips, "I could be anywhere from 19 to 110. That clever line was a nod to her role in the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, where she famously played a character from age 19 all the way to 110. The truth, though, is that in 1974, Cicely Tyson, born in 1923, played the role of Jane Pittman. 1924 was actually 50, not 40. The same People article recounted a story about Tyson quitting her job as a typist in the mid-1950s at age 18. But in reality, she would have been in her late 20s or early 30s at that time. In fact, Cicely didn't begin her modeling career until she was 30. She didn't receive her first Oscar nomination until she was 50, and she didn't win a Tony Award until she was 88. Even when her mother asked her to leave their home because of her career choices, Tyson's daughter was likely already a tween or teenager. Like many women in Hollywood, Cicely kept her age private, understanding that in an industry that often devalues older women, secrecy could mean longevity. And for Cicely Tyson, who continued to shine on stage and screen right up until her passing at 96, that strategy clearly worked. Cicely Tyson had a relationship with Miles Davis that spanned decades. Miles Davis and Cicely Tyson first crossed paths in New York in 1966. Davis was immediately struck by her presence. "She had a different kind of beauty that you didn't usually see in black women on television," he later said. "She was very proud-looking and had a kind of inner burning fire that was interesting." So inspired by her, Davis featured Cicely's face on the cover of his 1967 album, Sorcerer. By 1968, however, Davis had married another woman, Betty Mabry, though that marriage ended in divorce just a year later. Following the split, Davis spiraled into a deep cocaine addiction that consumed much of the next decade. Toward the end of the 1970s, at the height of Cicely Tyson's career, she re-entered Davis's life. Determined to help, she supported him through his battle with addiction. Their bond deepened, and on Thanksgiving Day in 1981, they married at Bill Cosby's home. With Tyson by his side, Davis found the strength to return to music, releasing 2 albums, including one that featured a track titled Star on Cicely. But behind the public image, their relationship was far from smooth. Davis later admitted that they often clashed, and heartbreakingly, he confessed to having an affair just days after their wedding. Although their marriage endured years of ups and downs, it finally ended in 1989. In 1991, as Davis's health failed due to organ damage from decades of substance abuse, Tyson didn't have the chance to see him one last time. But before his death, Davis sent a message through a mutual friend. "Tell Cicely I'm sorry. Tell her I'm very, very sorry." Cicely Tyson had a stage career long before winning a Tony at age 88. Before Cicely Tyson became a household name, she honed her craft on stage. Her first performance came in 1957 at the Little Theater in Harlem, where she appeared in the play Dark of the Moon. Just 2 years later, in 1959, she served as an understudy for Eartha Kitt in the Broadway production of Jolly's Progress. But it was Tyson's work in The Blacks, written by French playwright Jean Genet, that marked a turning point in her early career. According to Playbill, The Blacks ran for an impressive 1,408 performances at St. Mark's Theater, featuring a cast that included future stars like James Earl Jones, Roscoe Lee Brown, Lou Gossett Jr., Billy D. Williams, Charles Gordon, Maya Angelou, and, of course, Cicely Tyson herself. Tyson's breakout television role in East Side, West Side in 1963 may have slowed her stage appearances, but it didn't end them. She returned to theater now and then, starring in Carry Me Back to Morningside Heights in 1968 and The Corn is Green in 1983. Then, after nearly 3 decades away from Broadway, Tyson made a triumphant return with her Tony Award-winning performance in The Trip to Bountiful. When she accepted the award, she said, "I had this burning desire to do one more great role. I didn't want to be greedy, I just wanted one more." In the end, she did 2 more. Her final stage appearance came in 2015, opposite James Earl Jones in The Gin Game. Cicely Tyson was awarded a Presidential Medal of Freedom by Barack Obama. On November 22, 2016, at the age of 91, Cicely Tyson was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, joining 20 other distinguished recipients. Much like her iconic character Jane Pittman, Tyson had witnessed decades of slow but steady progress, culminating in the honor of receiving the nation's highest civilian award from the first black president. As Essence reported, President Barack Obama praised her impact, saying, "In her long and extraordinary career, Cicely Tyson has not only excelled as an actor, she has shaped the course of history, highlighting her steadfast commitment to roles that reflected strength, depth, and dignity." 2 years later, in 2018, Tyson was honored by Turner Classic Movies with a hand and footprint ceremony at Grauman's Chinese Theater. As USA Today put it, Cicely Tyson's legend is being cemented into film history. The following year, in 2019, she broke yet another barrier, becoming the first woman of color to receive an honorary Academy Award. At 94, she graced the red carpet. And as Harper's Bazaar described, Tyson's appearance on the red carpet tonight sparked a rapturous response from industry insiders and fans alike. Cicely Tyson died at age 96 and had no plans of retiring. Cicely Tyson passed away on January 28, 2021, just 2 days after the release of her memoir, Just As I Am. She was in the midst of a book tour with no intention of slowing down. In fact, she gave what would be her final interview on Live with Ryan and Kelly just a day before her passing. When asked by Time magazine in 2019 why she hadn't retired, Tyson said, "The reason why I have been in this universe as long as I have been is because he's not ready for me. When I've completed my job, he'll take me away." Right up until the end, she continued working, including a recurring role on How to Get Away with Murder. Her death sparked an outpouring of grief and tributes from fans and fellow actors, especially black women who had long seen Tyson as a trailblazer. Viola Davis wrote a moving tribute in Vanity Fair, calling Tyson her muse. Ms. Cicely Tyson is elegance personified. She is excellence. She is courage. When I think of her, I think of the Stevie Wonder song. "Show me how to do like you. Show me how to do it," Davis shared. She went on to say that because of Cicely, she felt valued in a world where there is still a cloak of invisibility for us dark chocolate girls. Other stars paid homage too. Kerry Washington described Tyson as a foretaste of glory, while Zendaya called her one of the greatest to ever do it. The world lost a true legend, but Cicely Tyson's legacy lives on in the countless lives she touched. Here's how much Cicely Tyson was worth when she died. These days, we're used to seeing actors with millions, or even billions, stashed away. But when Cicely Tyson broke into Hollywood in the 1950s, those kinds of eye-popping paychecks weren't being handed out. Still, through decades of hard work and dedication, the East Side, West Side star managed to leave behind a fortune of about $10 million, according to Celebrity Net Worth. When it comes to box office success, Cicely Tyson's highest-grossing film was The Help, which brought in an impressive $213.1 million worldwide, $169.7 million from domestic audiences, and $43.4 million internationally. Some of her other top-earning films include Fried Green Tomatoes, which made $81.2 million globally, Medea's Family Reunion with $63.3 million, and Why Did I Get Married Too?, which earned $60.8 million at the worldwide box office. Journalist Rebecca Lopez reflected on Tyson's generosity, calling her not just an actress, but a true civil rights leader. Lopez tweeted, "Cicely Tyson was grace and class. She came to Dallas several years ago to raise money for St. Philip's School. I'll never forget how gracious she was to the children. She was a national treasure." Beyond that, Celebrity Net Worth notes that Tyson gave back by supporting institutions like the Cicely Tyson School of Performing and Fine Arts in New Jersey. How much did Cicely Tyson's daughter inherit after her death? Cicely Tyson married Miles Davis in November 1981, but after 7 years together, the couple divorced. Before her relationship with Davis, Tyson had been married to Kenneth Franklin. When it comes to her family life, little is known publicly about Tyson's children. Although some reports claim she had no children, Tyson herself spoke about her daughter, whom she called Joan, in her memoir to protect her privacy. Tyson gave birth to Joan when she was just 17 years old. In Just As I Am, she shared intimate details about Joan's birth and childhood, opening up about the complexities of their relationship. Before her passing, Tyson revealed that she and her daughter had continued working on their bond, describing it as fragile as it is precious. She dedicated the book to Joan, calling her the one who has paid the greatest price for this gift to all. Joan never released a public statement following her mother's death, but many believe she likely inherited the bulk of Tyson's estate. While precise details about Tyson's property aren't widely known, her net worth at the time of her death was estimated at around $10 million. Joan, as Tyson wished, grew up out of the public eye. Fans believe it's almost certain she attended her mother's funeral at the Abyssinian Baptist Church in Harlem. Inside, Cicely Tyson's beloved home, a reflection of her grace and legacy. Tucked away in a quiet, tree-lined neighborhood of East Harlem, Cicely Tyson's home was a reflection of the elegance, warmth, and resilience that defined her remarkable life. While the exact address has always been kept private to respect Tyson's lifelong desire for privacy, those who visited or glimpsed the property described a space that felt like a living tribute to her history and values. The house, a charming brownstone with classic New York character, stood as a piece of Harlem's rich cultural tapestry. Its stoop, framed by wrought iron railings and potted plants that changed with the seasons, welcomed friends, family, and neighbors with understated grace. The exterior's weathered brick facade, marked by time yet standing strong. Stepping through the front door, visitors entered a space filled with natural light and timeless style. The interior was known for its tasteful blend of antique and modern touches, heirloom furniture passed down through generations, paired with art and photographs that celebrated Black culture and history. Tyson's love of books was evident in every room, with shelves lined with well-worn volumes on history, literature, and social justice. In the living room, a grand piano served as both centerpiece and symbol, a nod to the artistic legacy Tyson held so dear. Today, Cicely Tyson's house stands as a quiet monument to the life she built. Since her passing in 2021, the home has been carefully maintained, though it now carries an air of stillness, as if waiting for the sound of her voice or the soft patter of her footsteps. Neighbors speak of it with reverence, noting how it continues to radiate the same dignity and grace that Tyson embodied. Over time, as Harlem evolves, Tyson's brownstone serves as a reminder of the community's roots and the icons who helped shape it. The home, like its former owner, remains a symbol of endurance, beauty, and purpose, a place where history lives on. For admirers of Cicely Tyson, the house is more than just bricks and mortar. It is a reflection of a life dedicated to art, activism, and unwavering strength. Cicely Tyson's legacy lives on through her unforgettable performances, groundbreaking achievements, and the powerful impact she made on generations of artists and fans. What do you think her house says about the way we honor the legacies of cultural icons? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell for more stories about Cicely Tyson and other legendary figures.